Many people wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning and they feel confused, restless, or even frightened. They think, why now? Why in the middle of sleep does the body stir, the mind awaken, and the heart become alert? I have watched this myself for decades, and I tell you it is not a coincidence. These hours, when the world sleeps, are the most sacred hours of the day. The earth is quiet, the air is still, and the noise of human life has vanished. In this silence, something within you begins to wake. Something that is often drowned in the hustle of the day, the worries, the duties, the endless thinking. I have sat many nights in my own silence during these hours, sometimes by the window, sometimes lying in bed, sometimes walking in the dark garden of my retreat. And I noticed a subtle shift. The body is tired, but the mind is alert in a different way. It is not the thinking mind, it is not the calculating mind. It is the mind stripped of its daily habits, and what remains is pure awareness. It is a fragile awareness, quiet and deep, waiting to be recognized. If you ignore it, you will lose it. You will turn over, return to sleep, and the day will begin as usual. But if you remain present, if you honor these moments, a doorway opens within you, a doorway to insight, to intuition, to meditation. Many people fear these awakenings. They feel something is wrong with their body, their health, or their sleep patterns. I tell you, fear is always unnecessary. Fear closes the door that is opening. What you are experiencing is a subtle call from existence itself. The soul has its own rhythms, its own timing, and sometimes it is beyond the control of your habits. Between 3 and 5 in the morning, the body is resting, but the consciousness becomes lighter, more receptive. It is as if the night has peeled away all the layers of distraction, leaving only the core of your being. I have noticed that in these hours, even small observations feel deeper. The light of the moon, the sound of the wind, the gentle breathing of the body, all become extraordinary. You begin to notice the simple fact of existence in a way that is almost forgotten during the day. If you pay attention, the mind that usually pulls you into fear, desire, or planning begins to calm naturally. It is not effort, it is simply a response to the quiet of the universe around you. Beloved ones, these hours are a gift. Most people treat them as a curse, a disturbance, a flaw in their sleep. I tell you, they are a blessing. When the world is silent, your soul speaks. When the mind is quiet, awareness arises. When the body rests, energy flows differently, subtly, silently. If you can recognize this, if you can honor it, you will find that waking up in the early morning becomes not a problem, but a doorway. And through this doorway, you may touch a dimension of yourself that is always awake, always free, always infinite. Beloved ones, the first and most important thing to understand when you wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning is this: do not panic, do not resist, do not label it as a problem. Most people immediately think, why now? Something must be wrong with me. My sleep is disturbed. My health is failing. This fear closes the door that life has opened. I have watched countless people destroy their own sacred moments with unnecessary worry. Fear is a reaction of the mind, not the truth of what is happening. I have myself sat awake many nights during these hours. I did not try to fight the waking, nor did I force myself back to sleep. Instead, I allowed it. I observed the body, the subtle tension, the quiet restlessness, and slowly something magical began to happen. The mind, which during the day is a storm of thoughts, suddenly becomes softer, quieter, more like a lake at dawn. It is not the ordinary mind that is awake. It is awareness itself, pure and tender, ready to notice what the daytime activity usually buries. Do not reach for distractions. Do not pick up your phone. Do not begin thinking about tomorrow, yesterday, or the endless tasks of life. I have seen people immediately start planning, calculating, remembering, and worrying. And in that moment, the blessing disappears. These hours are not meant for doing. They are meant for being. Simply lie quietly and let your awareness emerge naturally. Feel the subtle pulse of life in your body. Notice your breath without changing it. Just observe. Many people ask me, Osho, what should I do if my mind keeps racing? I say, watch it without judgment. Do not try to stop it by force. Watch it as a witness. The very act of watching calms the mind. It is a strange paradox, but it is always true. The more you resist, the louder the noise becomes. The more you watch, the softer it grows. In these hours, the mind itself is more transparent, more receptive. The habitual chatter of the ego, the endless judging, comparing, and planning loses its power. I have noticed in my own experience that stillness in these hours is transformative. When you remain calm, when you simply allow yourself to be awake, something in you shifts. A subtle energy rises. It is not visible, it cannot be measured, but it is felt deeply. Your body is resting, but your consciousness is beginning to expand. Your senses are quiet, yet your perception becomes sharper. You are more alive than at any other time of day. Beloved ones, learn to honor this time. Do not force sleep. Do not fight the waking. Simply remain, witness and breathe. The world is asleep, and for the first time, you can meet yourself without distraction. In these hours, life is simple, pure, and intimate. If you can stay here for a few moments, you will discover that the night itself is a teacher, the silence itself is a guide, and your own awareness itself is the most powerful companion you can ever have. The second thing to do when you wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning is perhaps the simplest and most powerful. Watch your breath consciously. Do not try to control it, do not manipulate it, and do not judge it. Simply observe. In my life, I have spent decades watching the breath, and I have discovered that it is the most intimate doorway to your awareness. Breath is life itself, yet most people never meet it fully. During the day, the mind dominates, the senses pull you outward, and the breath flows unconsciously. But in these early hours, the mind is calm, and the breath becomes visible to the inner eye. I have often sat awake during these sacred hours, lying on the floor or sitting on a simple cushion, observing each inhalation and exhalation as if it were a new phenomenon. It is extraordinary how the mind, which is usually so busy with worry, planning, and judgment, begins to soften when attention is given to something so natural. You do not need effort, you do not need technique, you do not need any goal. Watching the breath is enough. If emotions arise, allow them. Memories may come, dreams from the night may surface, feelings may rise like waves. Do not suppress them, do not resist them, and do not identify with them. Simply watch. Between 3 and 5, the unconscious mind becomes more receptive, more transparent. Things that are buried under the noise of daily life can surface gently. Tears, laughter, fear, or even joy may arise spontaneously. This is cleansing, beloved ones. It is the night helping you to purify yourself, to meet the raw, unfiltered aspects of your being. Many people make the mistake of trying to do something practical at this hour. The mind says, I should plan, I should check messages, I should get ready for the day. Do not follow this impulse. I have observed that the mind is clever. It wants to drag you back into old habits. But these hours are not meant for doing, they are meant for being. Simply sit or lie and watch the breath. Allow the body and the mind to settle. Allow the subtle energies within you to awaken naturally. Breath has its own intelligence. It does not hurry, it does not force, it does not judge. When you observe it, you enter a dialogue with existence itself. The act of watching the breath in these silent hours is not meditation in the ordinary sense, it is something far deeper. It is intimacy with life, a meeting with the most essential part of yourself. You may notice a lightness, a subtle clarity, a sense that something inside you is waking even as the world sleeps. Beloved ones, understand this. Breath is your first teacher. Awareness of breath is your first practice. If you can watch it in the early hours, without expectation, without effort, you will begin to touch the depth of your being. The mind will quiet, the heart will expand, and a subtle joy will arise that is not dependent on anything outside. This is the secret of waking in the silence of night. It is an invitation to meet the stillness within, to know yourself as something more than thought, more than emotion, more than body. Beloved ones, the third thing to do when you wake between 3 and 5 in the morning is perhaps the most difficult for ordinary people, but also the most rewarding. It is to avoid the mind's temptation completely. the mind will immediately begin to chatter, to pull you back into its habitual patterns. Check the phone, think about tomorrow, worry about yesterday, plan, calculate, organize. The mind never rests, and if you follow it, you will lose the gift of this sacred hour. I have watched this countless times. People wake up and instead of sitting in silence, they begin their habitual mental noise. And the moment they do, the magic of this time vanishes. I tell you from my own life, these hours are not meant for thinking, they are meant for being. Being means no agendas, no demands, no expectations, just the simple presence of your consciousness, awake and alert, free from the habits of doing. Even if you remain lying down, do not allow the mind to pull you into its calculations. Observe it, yes, but do not follow it. The mind can talk endlessly, but it has no answers for the depth of your being. Its stories are only distractions. If possible, sit up. Sit quietly, upright, with your spine alert but relaxed. Close your eyes, or let them remain half open, watching the dimness of the night. Feel the weight of your body against the floor or mattress. Notice the silence around you, the subtle sounds of the world that are usually drowned by daytime noise. Even the faint rustle of a tree, the soft wind, or the distant movement of life feels extraordinary at this hour. The ego, which dominates during the day, is asleep. That is why this experience feels so pure and strange. Many people do not realize that these hours are a doorway to meditation. Meditation is not a practice you need to force. It is already present here, waiting for your attention. By not following the mind, by not giving in to its endless stories, you create space for consciousness to awaken. In my life, some of the deepest insights, some of the most powerful realizations have arisen simply by remaining awake and alert during these early hours, without doing anything at all. I have observed that even lying still when the mind is quiet, a subtle energy begins to flow through the body, a gentle aliveness emerges. Thoughts slow down naturally, emotions settle, a deep clarity arises that cannot be forced during the day. This is why the early morning is sacred in all spiritual traditions. The silence itself supports awakening. The stillness itself becomes a teacher. Beloved ones, understand this deeply. Do not follow the mind's temptation to distract you. Do not check your phone. Do not plan. Do not worry. Do not fall into old habits. Simply be present. Sit or lie and watch. Watch your breath. Watch the subtle energy. Watch the silence. Let the mind know that it does not have to dominate this space. If you can remain alert without doing, without thinking, without responding, you will discover that these hours are not empty. They are full of life, full of awareness, full of connection with existence itself. And if you miss them, you will not feel the gift. The gift of early morning awakening is presence. The gift is consciousness. The gift is intimacy with life, with yourself, and with the silence that surrounds you. Do not squander it. The fourth and perhaps the most subtle thing to do when you wake between 3 and 5 in the morning is to listen inwardly. Not with your ears, not with your mind, but with your consciousness itself. The world is asleep, the distractions are gone, the mind has quieted, at least partially. And now, if you are present, something inside you may speak, something that is usually drowned in the noise of daily life. This is not imagination, this is not fantasy, it is your own awareness, your own being, softly awakening. I have experienced this myself many times. Some nights I have heard answers to questions I had not even asked consciously. Some nights I have felt peace so deep that the entire day's worries dissolve into insignificance. Do not demand visions. Do not demand understanding. Do not demand miracles. Just be available. Sit or lie quietly. Observe your breath. Feel the subtle energy in the body and simply listen. You may notice thoughts arising, memories, emotions, or even sudden ideas. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. Do not hold them. Do not follow them. Listening is not interference. It is not reaction. Listening is pure presence. I have seen people make a mistake in these hours. They wake up, they feel restless, they want to solve something, they want to plan, they want to act. And in that wanting, they lose the gift. The hours between 3 and 5 are sacred precisely because the world is silent. The body is resting. The mind is weaker. The soul has space to move, to awaken, to express itself. And if you listen without interference, something inside you begins to expand. A subtle joy, a clarity, a sense of peace, a feeling of being at home in yourself emerges. Sometimes there is nothing at all to notice. Do not worry. Silence itself is a teacher. Listening itself is a practice. In those moments when nothing arises, you are touching the essence of meditation, the essence of existence itself. It is not necessary to have insight, vision, or realization. Simply to be aware, simply to listen, simply to witness yourself awake while the world sleeps is enough. It nourishes the soul, it strengthens the being, it opens the doorway for deeper understanding. I have received some of my deepest insights in these early hours, not through effort, not through seeking, not through analysis, but through quiet listening. When the body and mind are calm, consciousness flows naturally. You begin to feel connected to something larger than yourself. You begin to feel the rhythm of life, the subtle energy of existence, the gentle touch of the universe within you. Beloved ones, remember this. Listening inwardly in the early hours is not a practice to produce results. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is an invitation to awaken, to meet the silent observer within, to feel the stillness, and to open to life as it is. If you welcome this gift, if you allow it without demand, without expectation, without judgment, your awakening becomes effortless, and slowly, day by day, you will notice the transformation. Life becomes lighter, more alert, more peaceful, more aware. The ordinary hours of the day will begin to carry the calm, clarity, and depth of these sacred early hours. Beloved ones, now we come to the final understanding of these sacred early hours between 3 and 5 in the morning. When you wake during this time, it may feel inconvenient, strange, even frustrating at first. The body is resting, the mind wants comfort, the habits of sleep pull you back into unconsciousness. But do not treat this awakening as a disturbance. It is a gift, a subtle call from existence itself. I have experienced it many times, and I tell you, nothing in the day can give you what these moments give when they are honored consciously. This is the time when the ordinary world sleeps, but consciousness rises. The earth is silent, the air is still, and the mind is less cluttered. If you embrace this moment, if you follow the 4 things I have spoken about, remaining calm, watching the breath, avoiding the mind's temptations, and listening inwardly, you create a sacred space within yourself. A space where your awareness expands beyond your ordinary limitations. A space where the soul speaks in whispers that are usually drowned by the noise of daily life. I have lived alone many nights in silence. I have sat awake sometimes for hours, sometimes for minutes, watching my breath, observing the mind, listening to the inner stillness. And in those moments, insights arise that are not forced, not thought, not calculated. They are gifts of life itself, arising effortlessly when the mind is quiet and the heart is available. You may feel a sudden understanding about a relationship, a situation, or a part of yourself that has been hidden. You may feel a deep peace, a lightness, a sense of connection to life that cannot be explained by words. These are the treasures of the early morning awakening. Many people ask me, Osho, how can we keep this alive during the day? I tell you, it is not about keeping it alive. It is about allowing it to happen naturally. When you honor these hours consistently, the silence, the awareness, the clarity, and the subtle joy you experience begin to overflow into your daily life. You become more patient, more present, more attuned to the flow of life. You no longer react mechanically. You live with greater consciousness. And this is the true gift of waking in the early hours. It trains you to live awake even when the world is busy, loud, and chaotic. Beloved ones, I am not asking you to believe me. I am asking you to experiment. Wake up between 3 and 5, do not resist it. Do not panic, follow the guidance and observe. You will notice a subtle transformation. The quality of your awareness changes. The energy of your day becomes calmer and more luminous. Your heart becomes lighter. Your mind becomes more spacious. Your being becomes aware that it is more than body, more than mind, more than the roles and duties of life. Remember, the early hours are sacred. They are a doorway to your true self. They are an opportunity to meet consciousness itself. Honor them. Breathe, listen, watch. Allow yourself to be present. Slowly, these hours will not just be a part of your day, they will become the foundation of your life, the root of your meditation, and the source of your peace. And in this presence, you will discover that life itself is more beautiful, more gentle, and more extraordinary than you ever imagined.